Did you ever wonder what kosher means? I have. I mean, I know it's a Jewish word, right? But what does it mean? Well, sit back, friends, as I'm going to tell you everything you wanted to know about kosher and perhaps a little bit more. Kosher is a Hebrew word which means fit or acceptable. In the Old Testament, Leviticus chapter 11, it is told that only certain types of animals are considered kosher and thus can be eaten. Oddly, verses in Exodus and Deuteronomy forbids the cooking of baby goats in its mother's own milk. That would not be kosher. The Talmud, the book of ancient writings, which are the basis of religious authority for Orthodox Jews, and it is from these writings that a detailed set of requirements for raising, slaughtering, storing, and cooking and eating animals were established. Not all Jewish people keep kosher, but for those who do, everything from the animal's birth to its consumption at mealtime must be done in accordance with these established rules. For processed food to be labeled kosher, it must be certified by a rabbi who has overseen all the ingredients as well as the manufacturing process and equipment. Here are some of the general rules concerning kosher products. Animals must be raised without the use of hormones or any sort of growth stimulants. The animal must be slaughtered quickly to minimize pain. Within 3 days of being killed, kosher butchers are required to devein the meat, salt it, and rinse it 3 times in fresh flowing water, and that is to remove any blood, as it is forbidden for people to eat blood. Some kosher animals include any animal that chews its cud and has split hooves, like cows, and also kosher are fish with both fins and scales. All birds, with the exception of scavengers, and birds of prey. Non-kosher animals include pigs, rabbits, shellfish, reptiles, invertebrates, amphibians, and underwater mammals. All dairy and meat products must be kept completely separate from one another. This goes a big step further, too. They must be cooked and eaten with separate dishes, utensils, pots, and pans. Non-porous glass dishes can be used for anything. But there are some Jewish people who are so devout that they wait 6 hours after eating meat before eating a milk product, so the foods don't mix in their stomachs. Pertained foods are sort of like wild cards, and they include eggs, fish, tofu, and fruits, as well as vegetables that are neither dairy nor meat and can be eaten with either milk or meats if prepared in a neutral vessel. Some rules govern how kosher foods can be produced, so in some cases it is difficult to tell if food is actually kosher. It cannot be produced on the same assembly line, for example, as non-kosher food is produced. Say, for example, kosher spaghetti sauce is processed on an assembly line that has produced non-kosher sauce, and then it cannot be considered kosher. Non-dairy creamers that contain sodium caseinate, a milk derivative, are considered a dairy product, and they can't be used as drinks served at meals where meat is served. For the consumer, it is quite difficult to tell if food is indeed kosher. To help this problem, there are more than 400 rabbinical supervisors are supervising agencies that evaluate the foods by manufacturing process and certifying it to be kosher. Here are a few miscellaneous facts to know about kosher foods. There are over 20,000 kosher products on U.S. store shelves, and that represents 30% of all packaged food in the supermarket. 7 million shoppers spend in excess of $3 billion a year on kosher products, and the market is growing in excess of 11% per year. Oddly, the majority of kosher food products, about 78% of them, are sold to non-Jewish people who are concerned about food safety, or whose religions have similar food restrictions. So that's brief, but that's Kosher Food 101. And I hope you've enjoyed this and learned something about kosher foods. I did. And I believe that the processes to make food kosher probably makes the food a lot healthier. In the stores that I've gone to, kosher food is a little more expensive, but if it can be afforded, I think that it would be much healthier than non-kosher products like the pink slime that's sold in tubes as hamburgers. All right, thank you for stopping by. Have a great day. God bless.